Willie D Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. I'm going to let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime, in the between time, I'm going to give some shots out to the early birds, starting with dun, dun, dun. Who is that? Crawford Apostolic? Oh, Apostolic. Okay, Crawford Apostolic, I think. Okay, welcome to the channel. Y'all show some love for the newest member to the Willie D Live channel, Crawford. We got Trouble Music Group. What's up, newest member? Show love, show love, show love, fam. What's good, KO? The Kid. Yeah, Ham Hock at it again, man. He at it again. Connie, what's up? What's up? Let's see. Got Jaden, Scotty, Texas Pimp. What's up? Let's see. Tyrone, what it do? Okay, fam. So check this out. So we got a new format going on right here. From 2 to 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, I will be going live every single day of the week. I will not be doing a series of videos every day any longer. I'm going to concentrate on bringing you guys the news and information, some news you can use from 2 to 4 p.m. daily. So I'm going to recap everything that went down in the past 24 hours leading up to the time that I go live. All right. And some of the most compelling stories, let's put it like that. And let's get right into it. We're going to be talking about Jason Hamhock. He's at it again. Hating on Shedeur Sanders as usual. This is what losers do, hate on winners. So we're going in on him today. We're also going to be talking about Donald Trump, your president, and Elon Musk. Donald Trump and Elon Musk, I guess the bromance is officially over. They're going at it again. We'll be talking about them. We're going to talk about Jasmine Crockett and the influence that she has on the Democratic Party in Texas, specifically right now. Houston, we got a hotly contested 18th congressional seat up for grabs. And Jasmine Crockett has picked her side. She's chosen the candidate that she wants to support. And some people are up in arms. They are mad that she has picked the candidate that she chose. I guess if she had picked the other side, they would have been mad. The other side would have been mad about that. But she picked a side, and people ain't having it. In Houston, they are mad. They are some of her staunchest supporters are calling her out, saying that they're trying to now discredit her. There are people that are now trying to discredit her because she picked the candidate that their candidate is up against. So that's going on. And fam, we also got a disturbing news coming out of Maryland where another mother has been jumped. Another mother and a child has been jumped by a group of kids. What is the hell is going on with these kids today, man? Who raised you? Let's get into Ham Hock, fam. Let's get into this sucker. Let's get into him. Oh, man. This dude is one of the worst of the absolute worst. Hating on Shedeur Sanders. I mean, why would you hate on a youngster who is just out there on the grind trying to do his thing. He ain't getting no trouble. He ain't breaking no laws. He ain't being disrespectful to his elders. He not disrespecting women. He just going about his business. And here come Ham Hock. Oh man, this dude right here is absolutely one of the worst. He is one of the worst. And I wasn't going to do this, but I want to show you a picture of Jason Whitlock when he was younger. That's him. Yeah, fam. So allegedly he went to the doctor and, you know, they did some type of plastic surgery to make him look more human. But that's him. Cold-blooded, man. Cold-blooded. Just a crying shame. So anyway, fam, let's get into this story about this guy, man. This guy right here, man. He is among the worst of the absolute worst. I hate on a young man that's just going about his business, taking care of business. Why do that? Why do that to that man? Why do that? Let's get into the story. Let's share this. Let me share this story with y'all. Let's see. I'm gonna put that in there. Let's take this off here. Okay, I'm trying to add this story so you guys can see what I see. Let's see. Okay, I see what's happening. I see what's happening. Okay, here we go. Okay, fam. So here we go. Here we go. This is what Jason Whitlock said. I root against Shedeur Sanders unapologetically. He revealed why he wants Deion Sanders' son to flop in his first NFL start versus the Raiders. This is obviously a post that he made, well, some comments that he made before the game on Sunday, in which Shedeur came out on top. So it says, former sports analyst and columnist Jason Whitlock explained why he will root against Cleveland Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders when he makes his first NFL start against the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday. The rookie quarterback got his first taste of NFL action when he replaced Dillon Gabriel in the second half of the loss to the Baltimore Ravens, completing 4 of 16 passes for 47 yards and 1 interception. With Gabriel still in concussion protocol, Sanders will start against a struggling Vegas unit in week 12. Check out what this sucker said, fam. I want him to flop because I think his success would send a terrible message to young kids that arrogance, radical materialism, bravado, entitlement, playing the victim card is all a good thing, Whitlock said. I don't want young people to think that, hey, I got to dress up like a rapper. I have to make rap songs. I have to buy big gold chains. I have to talk in a way that makes me sound ghetto, even though I've never seen the ghetto. Let me ask y'all this, fam. Has any of y'all ever thought about Shedeur Sanders? Have you ever thought of Shedeur Sanders as being ghetto? I know I haven't. The young man is just talking. I'm going to debunk everything this sucker said, fam, right here. So check this out. He says that he thinks it will send a terrible message to young kids that arrogance, radical materialism, bravado, entitlement, playing the victim card is all a good thing. Let's get into that so-called arrogance. They used to say that Muhammad Ali was arrogant. They used to call Michael Jordan arrogant, right? They called Mike Tyson arrogant. They called Floyd Mayweather arrogant. They called Denzel arrogant. They called every top Black professional arrogant. They called Kobe arrogant. They called LeBron arrogant. Every Black person who stands for something, who stands on anything, is arrogant. Well, Michael Jordan don't really fit that category, standing for something, but the others have stood for certain things at certain times. And they were all called arrogance. Let those guys tell it, let those arrogant guys tell it, that having that arrogance is part of what separated them from the pack. It was that arrogance that propelled them to greatness. You gotta think you the baddest man on the planet if you're gonna be a heavyweight champion of the world. You gotta think that you're the best. You gotta think you're the best rapper if you're gonna rap, if you're serious about rap. You gotta think it. I don't give a damn what everybody else is saying. I don't care who everybody else is pointing at saying, that's my top 5, that's my top 20. If you're in this rap game, you better believe that you're the best. Otherwise, the fans are gonna sniff it out. Your fans, however many you have, whether you have 100 or 100,000 or 1 million, they want to believe that their guy is the best. And in order for them to believe that, their guy is going to have to believe that he's the best. So this whole thing about not wanting kids to feel that arrogance is somehow a part of winning is totally flawed. But Jason Whitlock wouldn't know anything about winning because he was a loser. He's never done anything notable in his life. He was a writer. He was a commentator. He flunked out on both. What is he doing now? He's in the type of business where you don't retire, where you expire before you retire. He's in that type of business. So how good is he? How good was he really? He should still have a job somewhere, right? Radical materialism. They said that Kobe Bryant was too flashy. They called Dion too flashy. But yet Dion is now considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest cornerback of all time. Do you understand what that means? There are 22 positions, 23, when you count the kicker in football. Throughout history, there have been 59 Super Bowls. So 59 years in football, professional football history. With all of the thousands of players who have played the cornerback position, Deion Sanders, the guy who Jason Whitlock despises, happens to be, no, he don't happens to be, he's that damn good. He was that damn good. The greatest, considered the greatest ever to do what he did. The only thing that Jason Whitlock has been accused of being the greatest at what he does is being a hoe. That's it. Being a fucking coon, a coconut. That's what he does. Dance for massa. He picks out black people who the system loves. He picks out black folks who they don't like. They, and you know who they is, who they are. They is anybody who don't like us. They. He targets black people, especially black males, who are despised by the system. If mainstream America say we don't like him, Jason Whitlock right there. Okay, massa, got you, massa. Ready to serve, massa. How can I tear him down? I'm right on it, massa. You know remember those cartoons when you watch cartoons back in the day? They used to go, and they be running, making them sounds. That's Jason Whitlock. Yes, sir, massa. I'm on it, massa. I'm ready to tear him down, massa. Ready to tear the next black man down. Who's next, massa? That's what he does. Look at this raggedy bastard. Look at him. You ain't got to hear nothing that come out of his mouth, fam. You ain't even got to know him. You can hear what he said about Shedeur or his daddy, Dion. And you can look at them and you can look at him and you can tell why he's so angry. That'll tell you why. He ain't got to even open his mouth. You can just look at him and tell why he's so hurt. Anytime Dion's name comes up, anytime the Sanders names come up, you can look at him and tell why he's so resentful. Look at his raggedy looking ass. Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders is everything Jason Whitlock is not. They're successful at what they do. They're handsome. The ladies love them. The men want to be like them. People like them overall. They're charismatic. Family, they're loved. People pull for them. They root for them. Jason Whitlock is not that type of dude. He's a nobody. When Jason Whitlock dies, he would be lucky if his own kids would be at the funeral. I don't even know if you have kids. But he'd be lucky if they're at the funeral, because I cannot even see anybody being proud to say, that's my daddy. That's my daddy right there. Who your daddy is? Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock, my daddy. I can't see it. You cannot, ain't no way possible you could be proud to say that's your daddy. Hell no. And what woman would lay up with him? What woman of value? What woman of integrity? And if she did, she ain't gonna say it proudly. She ain't gonna go out and say, yep, I gave him some, I'll give him some more. Jason Whitlock, he got all the markings of a trick. Look at him. You can tell, just looking at him, you can say, man, probably the only way that dude gonna get some, he got to pay for it. He gonna have to pay. I bet when he has sex, he be like, yeah, baby. Yeah. Girl be like, Jason, can you just cut the lights off, please? No, leave me alone, baby. I need to. I want to see it. I want to see it. Yeah, but I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. You ugly bastard. You big old fat fucker. No. Girls, he probably make the chick get right up out of the bed and start dancing. She's like, no. Come on, fam. Come on, man. Get off the gas, bro. Get off the gas. I'm surprised Dion ain't did something to his ass. Because I for that long, say, man, that long, you running his mouth that long and then going in on his kids too? Now, Jason Whitlock need to be reprimanded. He need to be reprimanded. Yeah, see, what he's doing is he's hiding behind, he's using his hate for Dion and his son, and he's hiding behind journalism. He's trying to disguise it as journalism, but it's not journalism, fam. These are personal attacks. These are personal attacks. Because what Shedeur Sanders represent, what Deion Sanders represent, is everything that Jason Whitlock claims to represent. He likes to brag about people working for what they want, working for it. He likes to brag about integrity. He likes to brag about doing the right thing. Well, what the hell is Shedeur saying? You mean to say he can't have a personality? You mean to what all of those dudes, every time the dudes in the NFL score a touchdown and they do a little dance, are they arrogant? You want to take all of the dancing out of you want to take the celebration out of football, right? That the celebrations are part of the entertainment of football. Football is not just a game, it's entertainment. When we see Shedeur do this, we like that. We like that. Shut your ass up. We like that. Y'all talking bad about me. Y'all talking down about me. Shh. I just quieted. Yeah, I just broke a record. I just broke the record for Cleveland Browns rookie players winning their debut football game. I just broke the record. Can I get an amen? Can I get a salute? Can I get a good job, young fella? No, not from him, because he's a hater. The dude is a bona fide hater. Ain't no way around it. This is not journalism, fam. This is not anybody can get it. I'm just doing my job. You know, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't call it all the way out. No, man. These are personal attacks. These are personal attacks, and they have no place in football. Look at this dude, fam. Let me open it up and put the full picture here. Y'all need to see, look at the crevices in his face. Look at this dude. Look at the crevices in his face. Look at him. Look at this dude. Look at him. That's why he hates Shedeur Sanders. Let me tell y'all something. First off, Jason Whitlock is letting his personal feelings do the thinking. He don't like the way Dion and his boys carry themselves. Okay. So now he suddenly wants a young brother who's out there grinding to fall flat on his face. That ain't analysis. That's emotion disguised as commentary. And here's the wild part, fam. Jason Whitlock says Shedeur needs to be humble. But failure don't automatically humble you. You know what humbles you? Coaching, preparation, film sessions, a teammate getting on your ass when you miss an assignment, wishing for somebody to collapse just because their confidence rubs you the wrong way. That's hating, man, straight up. Shedeur believes in himself, and that's supposed to be the problem. Tom Brady, you know, he liked to swing from Tom Brady nuts. Tom Brady had confidence. Kobe had confidence. Muhammad Ali had confidence. Muhammad Ali invented confidence. Elite athletes don't get to the top by whispering. They get there by slowly showing up like they belong. Showing up every day like they belong. But Ham Hock is ignoring all of that. He's ignoring the bigger picture. When Shedeur shines, it lifts the program for all of the players. And every young black quarterback watching him, they have to navigate in a world that ain't always built for them. Ham Hock want to preach community when it's convenient. But now he's rooting for that man to fail. He's rooting for a young black man to fail. Come on, fam. You know what his biggest contradiction is? Jason Whitlock loves talking about hard work, discipline, beating adversity. Shedeur is literally doing all of that every week under a spotlight most grown men would crumble under. If Jason Whitlock, let me get my right here. If Jason Whitlock really did care about young children, young kids who are, and athletes in particular, young athletes in particular, he would be applauding Shedeur Sanders, not praying for his downfall. Jason Whitlock is everything wrong with Black America. See, he'll have you think that he's everything right. He'll have you think that he's one of the good ones because he has, you know, a little vernacular. Because he went to school and got him an education. But you know how they say, fam. If you send a fool to school, he's going to come back an educated fool. And that's Jason Whitlock. An educated fool. Let's get into Trump and Elon Musk. You know what? No, I want to talk about, before Elon Musk and Trump, I want to get into this story. This is a hell of a story right here, fam. We got another mother who has been jumped by a group of kids. Remember the mother that got jumped with her child in Chicago by a group of kids. Well, it happened again, this time in Maryland. Check it out.
Few weeks have been difficult for Lakeisha Graves and her daughters, who say they were attacked, boarded a school bus that wasn't their own, and attacked them.
You might as well go ahead and go home. Oh, might as well go ahead and go home. My car fat dress. Might as well go ahead and go home. Get in the car. No. Go ahead and go home.
And then a 12-year-old rushes me, and then her friends follow up. And the boy punches my daughter in her face twice, and, you know, from there you see them dragging me across the field by my hair.
According to Cambridge Police Chief Justin Todd, 4 of the subjects were referred to juvenile services.
Eat her up! Eat the mama! Eat her the mama! Eat the mama!
We've seen juveniles escalate from assaults to vehicle thefts to robberies and homicides. We've seen it right here in our local community, and I think we're going to continue to see it until we see a difference and a change.
Graves says she met with Chief Todd and Dorchester County's Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Jameel Thompson, and is working to address the violence with city leaders. But it still escapes her as to how this even happened in the first place.
I was flabbergasted that children would even approach an adult, let alone assault them. I was not expecting that in any way, shape, or form.
Lakeisha says she hopes action is taken, whether it's with the city of Cambridge, Dorchester County, or the school system, to prevent what happened to her and her daughter. And she's hoping action is taken soon before it ultimately costs someone their life. In Cambridge, Brian Roche, WMDT, because local matters.
All right, fam. So check this out. You know, growing up, all it took was you to be an adult. If kids were getting out of line, you step in and automatically it would stop. In fact, you didn't have to put your hands on anybody. You didn't have to go in and go, enough of that. Y'all get over there, get over there. An adult could be driving by and just yell out of the window, break that, stop. And you would stop. That was called respect. So they did a number on everybody. I don't think that enough of us realized how dangerous it was to allow the government to get into our homes and run us. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't some value in having government intervention, but to have anybody outside of your house tell you how to raise your child when you love your child more than anybody in the world. I'm talking about good parents. I know all parents aren't created equal. I'm talking about the good parents. I'm talking about the ones who heard them say, hey, you know, you're not supposed to discipline them. You know, you shouldn't whoop them. And listen to me very careful, because I know some people get this mixed up. I'm not advocating for beating on kids and whooping kids and all of that. But there's a time and a place for everything. And if you have to use corporal punishment, if you have to whoop your kids, if that's your first thing that you do, if that's the first thing that comes to your mind, when disciplining your children, you're doing something wrong. If that's your primary source of discipline, you're doing something wrong, because that child is not getting it, obviously. Whatever it is that's causing you to go crazy and whoop them every time, they're obviously not getting it. So you need to try something else. That's where the work comes in. Some parents, they don't want to do the work. They pretty much look at their children like inanimate objects. You go over here, be quiet, shut up until I need you. You don't say nothing until I need you to talk. You don't do nothing until I need you to do something. And they don't use psychology when talking to children. You know, The phrase child psychology, it works. The method works. I use it on my kids all the time. They didn't even know I was using it on them because they were children. I'm thinking, if I've been on this earth before you, and when you got here, I was a grown man, that means I'm supposed to know better than you. That means I'm supposed to know a lot more than you. That means that I can't afford to act like a child ever, because we have a child-parent relationship. If I start acting like the child, it ain't gonna work. If you start acting like the parent, it ain't gonna work. That's why I allow my kids to have opinions, and I would allow them to debate me, but never argue with me. There will be no arguing with me. You have to know how to stay in a child's place. Too many parents, they don't want to do that work. And when they get angry, they lash out, they just hit. If your child sees you hitting first, if your child knows that every time there's a problem, you hit, you resolve conflict with fists, guns, and insults. That's how you resolve conflict. They're going to pick that up. And while they may be afraid of you for a while, they're going to go out into the world and they're going to unleash those fears on the world. They're going to hurt people, because hurt people hurt people. If you look at a bully, any child that's a bully, in most cases, if you want to know where that comes from, all you got to do is follow them home and watch who answers the door. It's usually a bully on the other side of that door. Now, here's the problem with this. All of these kids out here that don't have any respect and they swinging on these adults and all that kind of stuff. Some of these parents are kind of excited about their kids fighting and beating up people and bullying people. They're kind of excited. But they won't be excited when they have to put their child on a t-shirt. They're not going to be excited. They're not going to be excited when they get that call and they have to come identify that child in the mortuary. They won't be excited. They won't be excited when they find out that their kid put somebody in the mortuary, and now their kid is facing a life sentence, and they're about to miss out on everything. They're about to go missing in action for a few decades. They won't be too excited about that part. Kids are like bank accounts. You get out of them exactly what you put into them. If you have $68 in the bank, and you go to that bank and write a check for $68,000, your ass going to jail. First of all, they're going to look at you. What the hell is you doing? What? Hold on, man. Sir, you don't have $68,000. You've never had $68,000 ever. Even altogether, you've never had $68,000. Sir, you get out of here. And if you don't leave immediately, you're going to jail. Kids also will get away with as much as you allow them to get away with. I went to a high school about 15 years ago, and I'm walking down the hall and I'm hearing kids cussing. I went to visit a teacher friend of mine, and the kids are cussing in the hallway. We cussed in the hallway, but we didn't do it in front of the teachers. You going straight to the principal's office, you cussing in front of the teacher. Later, I go to another school for graduation. Around graduation time, I typically make several stops to support kids in my family and extended family. I'll go to the graduations. And sometimes I go to the graduation parties, right? For, the youngsters. I go to this graduation and I'm sitting on I'm sitting in the bleachers. I'm sitting right next to these youngsters. It's like three of them, they're talking. And they talking like I'm not, like, him, who the hell is he? They don't give a damn that a grown man is sitting right next to them. And other grown people are sitting around them. But it just started cussing. I turned to him. He was about maybe 16, 17. I turned to him and I said, say, man, I say, now I say, wait, what's your mama? What you think your mama said if she heard you cussing like that? Oh, she'd probably be mad. I said, why do you think she'd be mad? I don't know, probably because I ain't supposed to, because I said, yeah, man. I said, yeah. I said, I'm grown, right? I said, I'm grown. I said, they grown. I said, imagine if your mama was sitting right here and some of your friends or somebody else was standing around here cussing in front of your mom. I said, how would that make you feel? You right. That's right. And that was the end of that. But far too often, many grown folks are afraid to approach the youngsters. They're afraid to talk to the youngsters and tell them what's going on. They're afraid to check them. What they don't understand is, yeah, it's a bunch of hard heads out there and you can't tell them nothing. But there's a lot of youngsters out there that's waiting on grown folks to act grown and give them the game. But you got to do it with love. You can't do it with that tough, that bad guy, you're going to make somebody do something. No, you give them an option. Do it with love. They got emotions. They can tell when you're talking with love and when you're talking with anger, and when you're talking with bitterness and hatred. They can tell. Say it with love. And most of the time it works. It ain't gonna work all the time, but most of the time it works. See, I can't live in a society where the kids are just unruly around me. I can't be in that type of environment. I guess I'm living in that type of society, but I can't be in that type of environment. And I'm not going to resign to accepting that. And I think if more adults stepped up, you wouldn't have that. If more adults stepped up when an adult knocked on their door in love, in kindness, trying to get an understanding when their child got out of pocket about something, or telling you your child got, instead of you being defensive, you say, okay, try to get an understanding. You got to understand this. Usually when an adult knock on your door, it takes a lot these days for an adult to go to another adult's door and knock on the door, because so many people got a bad understanding. So if somebody knocks on your door, they're either knocking on your door to come with drama, or they're knocking to get an understanding. The first few words out of their mouth is going to tell you what kind of energy they're coming with. In fact, before they even open their mouth, you can look at the expression on their face and it'll tell you what kind of energy they're coming with. And you can decide right then and there how you want to respond. And the thing is, you should try to get an understanding, because maybe that parent is putting you on some type of game that will change the trajectory of your child's behavior and ultimately their life. They might be trying to save your child's life. But if you just automatically accept it, take your child's side on everything, and you don't hold them accountable you're doing your child a disservice. Yeah, your child gonna be upset with you, especially if you wait till years later, till they're in their teens and all that kind of stuff to try to put your foot down. You got to put your foot down early. You got to make your child accountable early. You can't wait till later, because by then they're gonna know how to play you. So you got to get them early and train them in the way that they need to go. That way, when they get older, they won't depart. And even if they depart, usually they're gonna come right back around because it's been instilled in them. The right way has been instilled in them. Those kids that jumped that woman, I hate to say it, fam, but some of them gonna end up dead real soon. And the thing about bullies is that bullies don't understand that they're at a major disadvantage, because there are a whole lot of people out there who are not bullies and they don't want no problems, but they recognize the bully and they know that the bully will eventually find their way to them. And when that bully show up, they're gonna get a bully the business. The bully gonna be at a major disadvantage because the bully ain't gonna never see it coming. These parents are gonna start downing these children. Some of these little youngsters gonna get murdered. They're gonna die. Yeah. Because all these parents ain't gonna just allow you to beat them up. They're gonna pull out that thing and they're gonna down one of these kids. Same thing with the teachers. The teachers are gonna pull out that thing and they're gonna down somebody. They're gonna down somebody. See, because a lot of these youngsters, they like to play both sides. They think that, oh, since I'm a kid, so I can do whatever I want to do. And if the pressure get too hot, I can just say, I'm a kid. I ain't know no better. I'm a kid. Heard one of those little kids that jumped the mother in Chicago. He was at a press conference. Well, I'm a kid and I'm just here. I'm here because my mama told me that I was going to get in trouble, and thank you. And he was laughing. I'm a kid. Well, here's the thing about that. When kids behave like adults, they get treated like adults, oftentimes. Now you have adults out here who are for the first time really afraid of children. And some of them are just straight cowards. I'm going to go ahead and call a striker striking the ball a ball. Some of the adults are straight cowards. But you got some adults that are saying like, look, man, I love the kids, but I'm not going to let one of them hurt me. So I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to be ready. And you're going to try the wrong one. They're going to try the wrong one. And they're going to end up in a bag with a zipper. That's happening. That's going to happen. That's coming. So let's talk about these guys. This guy right here. Hold on. What is this? Oop. That ain't what I wanted. I wanted to get rid of that. These guys right here. So they're at it again. You know, when they first joined forces, you knew that it wasn't going to last long. You knew it was not going to last long. Let me check something right quick, fam. I need to check this. I need to check this title out here. Yeah, you knew it wouldn't last long. Donald Trump and Elon Musk bromance. You knew that wasn't going to last long at all. These guys, for these guys, it was a battle of the narcissist. No way possible you would have two guys like them able to sustain a relationship too long. this is Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. They apparently have been, it has apparently been dissolved with 8 months still remaining on its contract, ending a drawn-out campaign of invading federal agencies and firing thousands of federal workers. That doesn't exist. The Office of Personnel Management Director Scott Cooper told Reuters earlier this month when asked about DOGE's status, adding that it was no longer a centralized entity. The statement confirmed long-standing suspicions that DOGE, created by an executive order that Donald Trump signed on his first day, was on its way out. The tech billionaire Elon Musk and the former Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy were tapped to lead the effort and were expected to drive large-scale structural reform through July 24th, 2026. We are actually trying to be as transparent as possible, Elon Musk said about the department back in February, ignoring the fact that DOGE agents refused to identify themselves in many cases, slashed agency spending often without consulting the agencies, and did not transparently provide a public accounting of its work. I don't know of a case where an organization has been more transparent than the DOGE organization. Man, a pair of lips will say anything, family. What the hell? A pair of lips will say anything. Donald Trump and Elon Musk, man, the relationship that they have was really weird. Now, you know, one of the biggest reasons why they bump heads is because both of these guys have always wanted to be the head, such in charge, right?
Building your
they've
custom
always
home
wanted to be the
is now
head in
easy.
charge. And so when you put two guys like that in a room, fam, it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. Somebody, got to break. Somebody got to give it up. And that's what happened. Trump played his Trump card. Pun intended. He played his Trump card and took away those contracts from Elon Musk. Threatened to take away many contracts from Elon Musk. And once he did that, Elon got on his pivot and was like, you know what? He backed up and got off Trump. Say, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's something I want to come back to. I'm gonna circle the wagon on that. I'm gonna circle the wagon on that. Yeah, absolutely. So, so Elon Musk, he had no choice but to bow down and acquiesce to Trump's demands. But having said that, they don't trust one another. So it's always going to be a problem between the two of them because, once they cross that line or either one of them crossed the line, the trust was broken. But at the same time, I don't think the trust was ever there in the first place, though. I don't think neither one of them ever trusted each other. I don't think neither ever trusted the other. Suspicions that DOGE may have been disbanded began to surface earlier this summer. Politico recently reported that in June, staffers had packed up their clothes and bedding at the department's headquarters, where they had been sleeping since February, and looked for new homes. The Department of Government Efficiency had its employees sleeping at the offices. And we were supposed to believe that they were going to make our lives a little bit easier. Like we're going to be able to keep a roof over our heads, and and living conditions are going to get better, and food prices going down, and gas prices are going to go down, and all this type of stuff. But the lie detector determined that that was indeed a lie. The Republicans are fighting, they're scrapping all over the place. You got Trump and Elon going at it. You got Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene going at it. She allegedly is supposed to resign in January. We'll see if that happens or not. But you also have, you have Trump and everybody going at it. But then you have Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica. Charlie Kirk's wife, as you know, Charlie Kirk was murdered a few months ago. And his wife gave an impassioned speech at his memorial. She hugged Donald Trump, held on tight for dear life. And she hugged Vice President J.D. Vance on other occasions, really grabbed his neck, and it's a very tender hug, like really tender, like really loving hug, like in love type hug, right? Well, she just did an interview. Erica just did an interview where she stated that she wished she had been pregnant when Charlie Kirk died. Yeah, she said she wished she had been pregnant when he died. I guess make it make sense? Well, according to Erica, her and Charlie had planned on having 4 babies. They planned on having 4 babies, and they only had 2 babies when he died. So Erica thought, what greater gift to leave for Charlie to depart with than putting another baby up in her, knocking her up. I don't know why somebody would want to do that. I don't know why somebody would want to bring a child into the world guaranteeing that that child has no father. I don't understand that. Now, I can't see if maybe if she didn't have any kids already, maybe if she didn't have any kids and somehow, some way, she loved him so much that she wanted to make sure that his bloodline stayed alive. Maybe. But I don't believe her. In fact, I think Erica gonna get knocked up real soon. That's right, I said it. I think Erica's gonna get knocked up real soon, and it's gonna be somebody who had a relationship with Charlie Kirk. It's gonna be somebody close. No, she's not pregnant now. She says she wished she had been pregnant. She says she wished she had been pregnant when Charlie died. This chick is strange to me. She's really strange, and I don't trust her. But I guess Charlie deserved her. I guess they deserved each other. But the way she's been moving really, really funny. She's funny style. All up on Trump, Y'all remember at the memorial when Trump was hugging her? I'm not sure. Now, I'm not sure about this. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure about this. But it sounded like Trump, when she was hugging Trump, it sounded like Trump said something like, I got you, girl. Yeah, I got you. I like that little thing you did last night. That's what it sounded like to me. I don't know. I mean, did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear something like that? Let me see if y'all heard. Give me a thumbs up if you heard that. Thumbs down if you say, nah, man, I ain't hear nothing like that. But it just sounded like what I thought I heard him say something like that. Like, he was like, I got you, girl, you know. I like that little thing you did last night, you know. Wiggle, wiggle, you know. It was, I think he said wiggle, wiggle, or something like that. Something, you know. Yeah. She used to be in Trump's pageants. Is that right? Hold on. Let me check that. Hold on. Wait a minute. Throwback 2012. Donald Trump first met with Erica Kurt during the Miss USA competition. Back then, she was competing for Miss USA after being crowned Miss Arizona, a moment that marked the beginning of her journey on the world stage. Y'all want to see a picture? Hold on. Let's see. Let's check. Yeah, I know. I saw that hug, man. That was a definitive hug. That wasn't no regular hug. There they go. This is I don't know if this is Trump at the Miss USA. I think they're saying that this is him at Miss USA pageant back in 2001. Was it 2001 it said? Let's see. – 2001. So this is 2012. So it says they first met in 2012. This is back when Trump owned the Miss USA pageant. Somebody said if he hasn't had her, he will. Well, the door is definitely open now. Yeah, Trump about to make a Secretary of Agriculture now. Well, the door wide open now. It's wide open now. Yeah, man. It's wide open. Boy, you would have to be suspicious of every single chick that Trump employs, right? Every single chick that Trump give a position to, you got to be careful. You got to be suspicious of, because Trump is very transactional, right? So you got to be able to give him something. Like, what are you giving him? Especially if you coming in and you're not qualified for these positions that he giving you, you know you ain't got no qualifications. You jumping in front of everybody. What did you do to get in that position? That's the question the Democrats not even answering. See, this is one of the reasons why I loathe the Democrats. I loathe the Republicans too, but this is one of the reasons why I loathe the Democrats is because they just ain't gangster enough. Man, I'd be laying all into all of these people that Trump been employing. Every single day, they should be going after every single one of them for being disqualified. I mean, being unqualified. If you think about it, it's been so much incompetency in these fields that he filled with his friends. Every single time something goes bad in either one of those fields, I would go off. I would be right there. I have a PR machine on ready, just going at it all day, every day. The same way that the Republicans did when Biden and Obama was in office. They, at every turn, any little thing that happened, they even when something was as small as Barack wearing a tan suit, man, they turned that thing into a big old, they turned it into a huge story. Like it was like the world was coming to an end or something. All of the networks were, news of President Obama wearing the tan suit that the president wore, the tan suit. In other news, the tan suit. President Obama is now about the tan suit, the tan gate, tan suit gate. That all of this crazy stuff. They blew it up. The Republicans, the Democrats, they ain't gangster like that. They not staying on code like that. They should have a propaganda machine at work 24/7, clowning the Republicans at every turn, while they're also working to try to, I guess, make the country better. Because you can do more than one thing at a time. But they seem to just be focused on one thing, and that's it. Like, if you want to win the primaries, if you want to win the midterms, you got to not just be protesting, going out weekly protesting. You got to be on code. You got to be, your message got to be on point. You got to have your message out there every single day, all day, every day. Message, on point all day, every day. You got to flood the market with the message. The same way they did. You got to flood the market with the message. And they haven't been doing that. But I think this chick gonna get knocked up within the next couple of years. She definitely got, I think she got a boyfriend too. I think she already got a new dude. I think she probably had the dude. She probably already had him, but I think she's gonna get a new dude, and she's gonna be knocked up within a couple of years or so. Absolutely, because I ain't never seen a grieving widow like her. But the way she hugged her husband's so-called friends, the way she hugging him and embracing him, that's not proper. It's not proper. It's not classy. No. I don't trust her. I do not trust her. In other news, fam. In other news, there's a hotly contended congressional seat up for grabs in Houston. And Jasmine Crockett is supporting one of the candidates. And that support has drawn the ire of many people in Houston who supports her candidate's opponent. The two candidates in question are Amanda Edwards and Christian Menifee. You got people who are on Amanda's side, many of who were supportive or have been supportive of Jasmine Crockett, who are now pulling their support for Jasmine because she's supporting this guy, Christian Menifee. Menifee, I'm saying Menifee, my bad. Menifee. And one of the reasons why I'm really pronouncing the man's name wrong, because I'm not familiar with him, although he is a Houstonian. I'm not really familiar with him. I am familiar with Amanda, but I'm not familiar with him. He's pretty much like over the last few years been new on the scene. But he is a Houstonian, and he attended the University of Texas at San Antonio, and he also went to Washington University in St. Louis. But he is a candidate for the 2025-26 Texas 18th Congressional District special election, which Greg Abbott took forever to announce a runoff date for. They've been playing games with that seat, trying to influence the outcome of the midterms. So there are a number of people who are up in arms about Jasmine Crockett supporting the guy on your right. And, what I want to do now here is something typically that I would not do, but I'm going to do this right quick. Let me see if I can share this with y'all right quick. Let's see. I'm going to remove this. Share the screen with y'all. See if I can share the screen. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna share the screen with y'all. This is what I had to say about Jasmine Crockett endorsing Christian Menifee. Trying to get it to where I can. Well, can't quite get it, but maybe y'all can read it. So let me double check right here. It's hard for y'all to read it, but this is what I posted on Facebook today. I said, as a citizen, Jasmine Crockett endorsing Christian D. Menifee over Amanda Edwards is her right and personal choice. What really matters is the 18th Congressional District is who's already been doing the work, not who has the louder endorsements. A Jasmine Crockett endorsement carries weight, but Amanda's supporters shouldn't be panicking. If voters truly know the issues and genuinely care about the community the way they say they do, no single endorsement should be powerful enough to shake their judgment. There's no reason to tear Jasmine down. She's doing what everybody else, including Houstonians who are mad at her, does in politics, using her voice to support the person she believes can win. Our community doesn't need more division. The focus should stay on which candidate is actually showing up, serving the district, and putting in the work right now. Do what you want, but here's how I look at politics. People always ask, if you could talk to your younger self, what advice would you give? What they never ask is, what resources would you give yourself? Advice is cool, but back then I needed resources. So when I think about voting or endorsing a candidate, I'm thinking about who I can put in that seat that would have given a 15-year-old Willie D the help he actually needed. I think about the 15-year-old Willie D's out there today and all the kids like I was, the ones dealing with abuse, neglect, hunger, and uncertainty. Which candidate is most likely to bring resources that support their education, create pathways to real jobs, and protect their mental health? That's the lens I use. That's how I choose who deserves my vote or my voice. And that's what I'm standing on, fam. I don't get caught up in, this person, that person. Hey, man, the work speaks for itself. Just look at the work. Like, what have you done? What are you doing? And what have you done? Because a lot of these candidates, they only come around for the black vote when they run their campaigns and they lack votes. This is something Brad said. Let me see. Ghetto Fantasy. So we had a song, Ghetto Boys had a song called Ghetto Fantasy. And Brad part, Scarface, he had a part on there where he said, because they only come around to the black folks when they run their campaigns, and they lack votes. So you got those politicians like that. They only come around to the black folks when they run their campaigns and they lack votes. So I'm not with that. Like, what work have you done? Show me the work and I'll show you the vote. I'll show you the endorsement. Let me see what kind of work you've done. And I'm not saying that you had to even be a politician before, because you got to start somewhere, right? But you can start in the community. You don't have to be a politician to have a positive effect on your community. You don't have to be a politician to have an impact on young people's lives or even old people's lives. You don't have to be a politician. Every single person within the sound of my voice have the capacity to give, to serve. Everybody can do that right now. You don't even have to have money. You can serve. You can serve with your time. You can give time. Sometimes, in life, sometimes you have more money than you have time. So you give more money. Sometimes you have more time than you have money. So you give more time. That's life. You don't have to have money to serve. Some of y'all out there that's listening may have been addicted to drugs at one point. You may have been suicidal at one point. You can join a phone bank. You can join one of those phone banks and answer the phone when people are calling that need somebody to talk to. They just need somebody to talk them off the ledge, man. You can do that. You can be a drug counselor. You don't need money. You can decide how much of your time you want to give. You can give 30 minutes a week. You can give an hour a week, or you can turn it into a career. It's up to you. But there is no excuse for any of us to not serve. There is no excuse at all, because all of us benefit from service. All of us benefit from service. And in life, you should give more than you receive. This is why when I contact somebody, like if I call somebody that I know, like a friend, and I call for something, if I call for a favor, that favor is usually granted because I give more than I ask for. I give, you know? So we can all be of service. We can all serve. You can serve by simply being in your neighborhood. You can be in your neighborhood. That could be a kid in your neighborhood that you see everybody's scared of. They don't want to be nowhere around them. You see that kid, man, and you just stop and speak to that kid and just act. You'd be surprised what you learn from a child in just 5 minutes. Change your whole perspective about that kid. And it might change his life or her life. Just that little 5 minutes showing that you care. Oh, we can serve, man. We can serve. We are better than what we think we are. We're stronger than what we think we are. We're more resilient than we think we are. I think that in this case, in the case of Jasmine Crockett she's a national treasure, and she's a soldier. She's a fighter. So obviously, if Jasmine Crockett gets behind somebody, there are going to be people that look at her and say, man, well, if Jasmine Crockett is behind them, they must be all right. And there are going to be people that say, okay, I'm going to vote for her. I'm going to vote for him because Jasmine says so. But a more studious voter, a more conscious voter is going to say, well, if Jasmine is behind him, must be something there. Let me look into it. You're going to look into it, and then you're going to make your decision based on what you discover, not what Jasmine says. So Jasmine's voice should be the voice that makes you go, well, I never heard of that guy. Let me look him up. Right? Let me look him up. Might make you sway. But let me look him up first. And then I'll conclude. Because I ain't no robot. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do. You can give me some advice. You can offer your advice, but ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do. I'm gonna make the conscious decision because I gotta live with that decision. If I go send this dude to Congress to represent me, if I send that dude to Congress to represent my city, my state, my district, if he get up there and act a damn fool, man, that's on me. So let me make sure before I cast my vote that I'm doing the right thing. Let me make sure I vet this guy. Now, obviously, you have politicians that will lie, say they're going to do something and they don't do it. We see that happening right now. They say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to bring prices down, I'm going to create jobs, I'm going to do all of this grand stuff. And then when they get in, first thing they want to do is go build a ballroom. They want to spend $200 million on a ballroom. You know what I'm saying? So you have people like that. But you're going to have to at least trick me. I'm not going in knowing that you don't do your work. you don't do the work. I'm not going in knowing that you're straight up lying already. I'm not going in like that. I'm gonna go in with the idea that I'm thinking that, okay, at least I think this guy is gonna do the right thing. I think. And if they don't do the right thing, then now the onus is on me to make sure that they don't get another shot. But the problem is, once these guys get in Congress, oftentimes it's very difficult to replace them. It's very difficult to remove them from that seat. It's like they get stuck to that seat like crazy glue or something is on their ass. It's like they get stuck. And one of the reasons they get stuck is we get stuck. As voters, we get stuck on familiarity. We get used to that name being out there. So we end up voting off name recognition as opposed to issues, platforms. We vote on name recognition. So that's how you end up with a do-nothing mayor or a do-nothing congressman, a do-nothing senator. We have these people in there year after 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 year. They go in there, they served, I ain't gonna even say served, but they go in there and they collected a check and they're representing our district, our state for 20, 30, 40, 50 years doing nothing but taking up space. I mean, doing nothing. But that's on us because we're dumb enough to continue to re-elect them. We're dumb enough to not hold them accountable. If you're not going to hold somebody accountable, what's the incentive for them to change their behavior? There is none. If you're not going to hold someone accountable for doing what they're supposed to do, what's the incentive for them to do it? There is none. Going into the comments, opening up the lines right now. If you want to join the live, click that link and chime in. Click that link, chime in. As a reminder, I'm going live every day from 2 to 4 p.m. 2 to 4 p.m. Central, I'm going live. So get used to it, fam. Mark your calendars, set your clock. I'm going live 2 to 4 p.m. every single day. If you miss the news, you can come here and get caught up on everything that's going on, at least the biggest or the most pressing issues. You can get caught up on what's going on. The only lives I will be doing aside from that is if there's breaking news. And it's going to have to be something major. Don't know what happened just now, but let's try that again. Okay, where's the link here? Let me send this link out to y'all. Link. Let's see, invite guests. Okay, so fam, I am putting the link in the description for you to join the live. You want to chime in on the discussion? Vicky Slaughter, what's up with you? T. Gallagher, what you look like? What it look like? What it look like? What's up, Brian Lamar? China, what's up, China Carter? I saw a story earlier, fam, where a woman tried to steal a gun from a gun shop. Talk about crazy. That is crazy to me. Yeah. Who we got there?
What up, Willie? What's going on with you?
What's up, King? What you look like?
Oh man, talking about ham hocks and pork chops, man. What is it doing out here, man?
I like that. You got, boy, I bet you got a whole lot of sayings like that, huh?
Hey, you the OG. I got it from you, man.
Yeah, what's on your mind?
Oh, you was talking about the Whitlock ham hock situation, so I seen the link on there and figure I'd, chime in and
Yeah.
have you elaborate a little bit. That's all.
Yeah, what you think about old buddy though, man? What you think about those comments?
Hey, my partner Willie Dennis said it best. He say, "Coon, coon, 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 coon." Hey, man, you've been mashing on Cam Hawk this whole time. We know what it is. He's a hater. Ain't nothing to be. What's understood don't need to be explained. You got that, OG. You know what it is.
Man, you know what's crazy? Hearing you say that, man, you know that's how Cube be talking. You know Cube talk like that. Cube probably watching this like that. Man, I don't talk like that. but let me put it like this. That's something Cube would have said.
Wow.
That's something Cube would have said, and I'm talking about damn near the same way he would have said that. Because Cube is like, Cube like, man, you know what it is, man. You know, it's like that. Like
that is crazy, man. Wow. Because y'all my big homies, man. I was born in 82, so I come from that generation right up under you. So yeah, man. We know what it is, though. Man, shit.
Man, how do we deal with these coconuts, though, man? What's the most effective way do you think to deal with these coconuts?
Man, you know, I'm from the turf. I'm from the hood. You know, Cube has some a little bit of college experience. It's a school of thought when you go through academia or whatever. But it's this theory and it's called cultural contracts theory. And with cultural contracts theory, you either gonna be a sellout, you're gonna either straddle one fence, one side of the fence or the other, or you just gonna be rebellious. So it's three levels to it. You either gonna sell out, you're gonna find a way to straddle the fence, or you gonna just be totally rebellious. So, as we dealing with these coons, as we've always been doing for the past 400 years, you always talk about the ancestors and what they've been through, and you talk about our history. You know what I'm saying? You know what it is, man. So, I mean, that's to be expected. How do we deal with these coons moving forward? Well, you know, the intelligent gonna rise, the knowledgeable gonna rise. What Willie D is doing right now, that make perfect sense. You know what I'm saying? And just to have this conversation with you, man. You know, I'll be up in your thing. I'll be checking you out, man. You know, it's like Big Daddy Kane told you. I live by the sword.
All right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't think it's I think dealing with these coons, I think you have the right idea. It's not a one size fits all thing. Just recognize that they out here. Recognize it's real motherfuckers like us trying to making moves out here, and we ain't dealing with that bullshit. And keep pumping that message the way we do, and that's it, and that's all.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, you know, anytime we can, you know, if we can, you know, when we get an opportunity, make contact. We got to make contact with these coconuts. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, you know, we know they don't respect nothing. In America, America don't respect nothing but blood and money. If you want to get somebody's attention, talk about money, talk about blood. And here's what I mean. Matt, okay, so you ever been like have you ever been somewhere? I'll put it like this. You could be in a room full of people, and it can be like a situation where, let's say you're at any type of gathering or whatever, and you can have a conversation, and a person can walk away from the table, and then when that person walk away from the table, they go, "Yeah, man, that was such, man. He runs such and such, man. He worked by 60 million." And then you go, "Shit, I should have done a little bit better to make that connect." You know what I'm saying? I should have put a bit more effort in making a connect with old buddy. You know what I'm saying? So now you mess around and try to, you know, like now the idea is to, you know, to circle back and, you know, have a conversation with this guy, because now you know, okay, this guy's worth 60 million. Perhaps he can help with whatever this thing that I got going on. I'm talking about when people are in network situations, when you're networking, right? And so it's the same thing with when you talk about blood. If somebody was having a conversation, you're walking by, you don't even have to know what it's about. You just hear that somebody is having you just hear about somebody got smoked or this happened to that person. All of a sudden you stop in your tracks and you listening to everything the person got to say, because, you know, now they talking about blood, you know, so it's blood or money. It's like only thing these guys respect. And so, you know, you got to kind of speak their language.
Did you say 60 billion or 60 million?
60 million, but it can be billion now, because you know, that's a number that's a number now that's in reach.
That's in reach, is achievable. Yeah.
Billion would have been unheard of just a few years ago, but now, you know, you got people that have you know, crossed over that 60 billion, you know, 100 billion plus. So it is. But man, I appreciate you joining the live. Appreciate the continued support.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Right on, man. Now with
Schiaparelli mouthpiece.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I'm about to get out here in these trenches with you, man. Right on, man. Ain't nothing but the one love, man. I don't know why ain't nobody else hit the link, man. I thought there'd be more people up in here, you know.
Yeah, maybe we dealing with the ops.
Right.
We got some ops and
I'm gonna just tell you, man, keep doing your thing, OG. I'm a '80s baby raised in the '90s. I'm up under y'all. Elders got to take responsibility for a lot of this shit. Keep doing what you're doing. Put that message out here, man. We got to do better. We're gonna strive. And really, it's really kind of easy right now because you know, there's a lot of dum dums out here. And when you intelligent, and especially if you done been through what you done been through in this game, you done seen paper, you done see how paper work on that scale right there, man. I don't do nothing but salute you, man. You'll be seeing I'm mouthpiece extraordinary. I'll be in your stream, man. And now you know we face to face, man. And what a privilege to talk to you, OG. And thank you for the game that you laced with us, man. You know what I'm saying? That's for sure.
appreciate you, King.
You be cool in everything you do, man.
And one. My man.
You'll be seeing I'm mouthpiece extraordinary. I'll be in your screen, man. Now you know we face to face, man. And what a privilege to talk to you, OG. And thank you for the game that you laced with us, man. You know what I'm saying? That's for sure.
Appreciate you, King.
You be cool in everything you do, man. You'll be seeing I'm mouthpiece extraordinary. I'll be in your screen, man. Now you know we face to face, man. What a privilege to talk to you, man. Thank you for the game that you laced with us, man. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate you, King.
You be cool in everything you do, man.
Antron.
How's it going? Let me turn it down a little bit.
Hold on.
Antron Montreal Robinson.
What's up? What's up, Antron?
Yes, sir.
What's on your mind?
I have lupus. I'm going through a phase right now. I need transportation to get to you. I got everything everything that I need that I got going on. 165 Ferguson South Drive. 165 Ferguson South Jackson. If I get to you, I explain everything. We can go from there. I ain't got to come back to Mississippi. Everything is on my page. I've been tagging you. I've been tagging Flip. I've been tagging everybody on it. This is serious. I got to get away from you.
What you trying to get to me for?
I have a situation going on with my disability and my 401k.
Yeah, that's
dealing with the government.
Yeah, that's a conversation. You ain't got to. You ain't got to. Yeah, you ain't got to. We ain't got to meet head up for that. That's something. But send me a message, man. Explain to me exactly what it is that you're trying to do. Send me a message.
And then I got another problem. I got another problem with Senator Boyd. He avoided me on my health care benefits, and everything's on my page. I want to address him to him. I walk to him if I have to. That's just how GB it is. I'm finna send you a message, and we'll go from there. And my number.
There you go, my man. In a minute.
I stand on business. 11/3/25 is the last time that I went to jail, and that's the last time I've been in my room, and I ain't been out of my room since. I stand on business. I'm behind GB. I'm a real definition of a ghetto boy.
There it is, my man, Antoine. Appreciate you. All right. Let's see, China. What's up, China Carter? What's up, Bug Horse? What it do? Joyce Dubose. Amazing Love. What up, amazing love? Aaliyah K. What's up, Aaliyah K? What it do? Sean Creighton. Vicky, what's up, Vicky? Wild things going on right now, y'all. We're living in some really, really wild times right now. I'm talking about wild, wild times. Living in some wild times. So here's some breaking news, fam. Judge dismisses Comey James indictments after finding that prosecutor was illegally appointed. Judge dismisses Comey James indictments after finding prosecutor was illegally appointed. Fam. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me put this up right quick. We got some news, some new news, some exciting news. Trying to let's see. Let's go with that pick right there. Upload this right quick. Get that in there. Boom, boom. Do it like that. So what's happening here, fam? We got a judge who has dismissed the indictments against Letitia James and James Comey after finding that the prosecutor was illegally appointed. A federal judge on Monday dismissed the criminal cases against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James, concluding that the prosecutor who brought the charges at President Donald Trump's urging was illegally appointed by the Justice Department. The rulings from U.S. District Judge Cameron McGowan Curry halt, at least for now, a pair of prosecutions that had targeted two of the president's most high-profile political opponents and amount to a stunning rebuke of the Trump administration's legal maneuvering to install an inexperienced and lawless prosecutor willing to file the cases. The orders do not concern the substance of the allegations against Comey or James, but instead deal with the unconventional manner in which the prosecutor, Lindsay Halligan, was named to her position as interim U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. Defense lawyers said the Trump administration had no legal authority to make the appointment. In a pair of similar rulings, Curry agreed and said the invalid appointment required the dismissal of the cases. All actions flowing from Ms. Halligan's defective appointment, including securing and signing the indictments, were unlawful exercises of executive power and are hereby set aside, she wrote. The Justice Department did not immediately disclose its next steps, though it may appeal the rulings and could look to refile the cases. So y'all know how that go, fam. What they're basically going to do here is refile the cases with a new prosecutor, and they're going to charge Letitia James and James Coney again. That's exactly what's going to happen. Make no mistake about it. That is what's going to happen. This is absolute madness. Absolute madness. This is madness, fam. See, but this is what happens when an administration tries to weaponize the justice system for payback instead of, actual law. Yeah, this is what happens. A judge tosses out the cases because Trump's hand-picked friend wasn't even legally appointed to represent the state. And now Trump is he's signaling he will back down on his position to extending ACA subsidies. The people are speaking up, and Trump is running scared. But he's going to put another prosecutor on the case. And even if he don't appoint an illegal prosecutor, he'll still appoint an incompetent one. So it's like Trump is finding out that he's not running his company from a high, from the Trump Tower in New York anymore. In his current job, where he's working at the White House, he has to work within the law. So what I want to know is just how much of our tax dollars have we wasted on Trump's revenge thus far? That's what I want to know. How much of our tax dollars have we wasted on Trump's revenge thus far? I also think that too many of us have forgotten that for Capitol Police, the 4 Capitol Police committed suicide after being maced and beaten up by his mob. Did you know that? 4 Capitol Police committed suicide, allegedly, after being maced and beaten by his mob. So where is their justice? They were dads. There's just something way off about the brains of Trump supporters. Not a surprise. It's not a surprise that those 2 cases were dismissed. Both cases and charges were unlawful, and a real judge made the right decision. I got to give it to these judges who rule against Trump. They're under tremendous pressure to rule in his favor. I mean, tremendous pressure, because Trump has no problem. He has no problem circumventing the law to get revenge on people who disagree with him and don't let him have his way. He has absolutely no problem with that. Never forget, fam, that Trump was never qualified for any of this. and he hires purely based on loyalty, not competency. See, this ruling just confirms what everyone knows, everyone with open eyes knows. Trump and his team are poisoning America with hate, greed, reduced protections for average Americans and the environment, creating divisions between parties and international relations. It takes steps to enrich him. He's taking steps to enrich himself at the cost of others. Ukraine and Americans, you look at the tariffs, weaponizing the government agencies, including as much as possible, the judiciary. It's all going to come back, and it's going to be bad, fam, for a long time. It could take 100 years to endure some of the damage that he's caused. The residual damage is going to be astronomical. It's going to be bad, fam. It's going to be bad. By the way, MAGA, if any other prosecutor has signed on the case, then those cases would have just been moved to him. So not only was it an improper judge, but the case was so bad that no other attorney would sign their name on it. That lets you know how laughable the charges were. You got prosecutors who don't want to prosecute. Well, that's what prosecutors do. Prosecutors prosecute. And let me tell you something, fam. I think at different times, both James Comey and Letitia James has done the bidding for the government and, did people dirty. But they did it under the directions of the government, right? Which is supposed to exclude them from prosecution. You're finally starting to see some cracks, right? You're finally starting to see some cracks in Trump's armor. Now, the trick is going to be, how do you get rid of Trump without burning the whole country down? Because you got people out there that's ready to do that. See, I couldn't be the president. If I were to take over after Trump, man, look, fam, all them ones that's acting tough, talking about what they gonna do and this and that, I go right on in on them. Just like the way they going in on those illegal immigrants. That's what I'll be doing to them. I have a special task force going in on them. You gonna do what? Oh, the ones, especially the ones online making threats. Oh, I had their asses hemmed up so fast, their heads would be spinning. They wouldn't know what hit them. I wouldn't be playing with them at all. Wouldn't all that tough guys talk, all that come get it. I got a gun in my arm, I'm armed, and we're armed and two. Come and get it. The only way you're gonna get it through my dead body. Well, guess what? That body gonna be a body. That body gonna get bodied. Because I would be bodied. Family, let this be a reminder that Trump always accuses others of what he's doing. When Trump broke laws, he complained of lawfare. When he was indicted, as it was really just a system at work. Trump actually uses lawfare for revenge and retribution and is not doing anything to uphold our real laws. Anybody who didn't see this coming just wasn't paying attention. Picking which perceived enemy you want to go after, then working the evidence to try and make a case is just a recipe for disaster. The real karma is that Trump showed that it is not that easy to try and charge someone with a crime without evidence. He tries to say he was charged and it was all a hoax. It's poetic justice that what he has in fact shown is that you cannot just railroad people in our system. It takes evidence. And he doesn't have any. It takes evidence. It takes evidence that he didn't have. It takes evidence. So he found out the hard way. And let me tell you something about that evidence, fam. The more popular a person is, the bigger their profile, the more money they have, the harder it is to just lie on a person and get away with it. The harder it is to just manufacture evidence against that person because they have enough connections to fight back. They have enough money, they have enough resources to fight back. Now, he probably can get away with a lot of that stuff with the average man or woman. And if the average man or woman, something like that happened to the average man or woman, they could bury that person's story and nobody would ever be the wiser. They could bury the story and it would be a wrap. But because these people are people of notoriety, it's harder to just railroad them. If this happened to the average person, they could do them dirty and it'd be done, it'd be over. And it might take decades for that person to exonerate themselves. Or they may never be exonerated. But it's a lot harder when a person got money and resources. When you think about all of the incompetent people that Trump has worked with, that he has hired to run this government, it takes critical thinking from sophisticated minds to properly run a government, especially one of this size, one with the amount of complexities that this country has. So when you think about all of the people that Trump has employed, Stormy Daniels is really the only one who was qualified for her position. That's my time, fam. I appreciate y'all joining the live. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Tomorrow, I'll be back with another live at 2 p.m. Central. I appreciate y'all once again, fam. The channel is growing despite of all of this stuff that's going on around. You know, my channel is being targeted. We know that for a fact. But, you know, even with all of that, the channel is still growing and we remain diligent. We keep on going. As long as we breathe and we got action, and that's how it go, fam. in a minute. No more talk.